All right, Shalom, Shalom, Akim. This is your brother Zakaria Allah. All right, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, coming with another lesson through the Spirit. Lord willing, this be edifying to the Lord's elect. Before I get started with this lesson, I want to give our praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kodash. Double honors into the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and who teach well. Shalom to the Akim out there that's pushing the truth, is laboring in the word, and is pushing the gospel of the great kingdom that's soon to come. A shalom to the Akwath that's listening in, is remaining true to the faith, and remaining faithful and submissive to their husbands and guiding their children. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes that scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth, you Israelite foreigners out there who live among the heathen and who look like those heathen nations. But your lineage goes back to the progenitors of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel through the line of your fathers. I want to say peace and blessings to you all, Barakatham. All right, so I'm going to start this off with the book of Isaiah, chapter 42 and verse 9. It says, "Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them." All right. So the name of this lesson is going to be A Ripple of the Past. All right, a ripple of the past. So I was doing some research into the Seleucid dynasty last night. You know what I'm saying? And the Seleucid dynasty was ruled by the Antiochi. All right. The Antiochi was the successors of one of the original Diadochi, all right, which was Seleucid, because you have to remember after Alexander the Great had passed away, all right, he passed his kingship or his rulership on to his four generals, all right, his four generals being the ones that he trusted, you know what I'm saying, the ones that he trusted since his youth. And, you know, they all was complete demons, all right? But the name of those generals was, of course, Ptolemy. All right, you had Ptolemy, you had Cassander, you had Lysimachus, and you had Seleucus, all right? Those were the four generals. And that's recorded in First Maccabees, all right, the first chapter. So when the Seleucid had had passed his rulership down, okay, it went down into the Antiochus, all right, or the Antiochi, and that's what started the dynasty that would continue on the Seleucid Empire, all right. And because you have to understand, the term Antiochus is simply a title, right? In which, in the line of the Antiochi, there were 13 members in total. All right, 13 sons. Okay, and pretty much in reviewing, you know what I'm saying, I've realized that the empire of Seleucid, okay, the rule had lasted for 249 years. Okay? 249 years exactly. That was how long the Seleucid Empire lasted. And the cause of this, as I was digging in, you know what I'm saying, pretty much primarily the cause of its fall lies greatly upon, you know, the amount of the infighting. Okay, the infighting, the rivalry, and the civil deterioration. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, just going to into the history is pretty brutal. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just nothing but a bunch of a backstabbing. You know what I'm saying? And that happened since Alexander died. Okay, I mentioned the Diadochi, which were the four generals, okay, that took crowns upon their own heads and they went against each other. Okay, the rivalry was fierce. Okay, well that trickled into the line of the Seleucids as well. Okay, the rivalry, the backstabbing. Jokers was getting assassinated, poisoned. You know what I'm saying? Okay, one of which was poisoned by his wife. Okay, as some historians will allude to. All right, and so that's what caused its inevitable fall, right? And so those same points are reflective today in the final rulership of the Edomites. Okay, they first ruled in Greece. Okay, then they ruled in Rome. Okay, the pagan Roman Empire. All right, or shall I say the Western Roman Empire, and then here in these latter days, okay, this is the revival of Rome, okay, in the form of America and the EU and NATO, right? So those same points that was seen in the Seleucid Empire could be seen here today, okay? And, you know, this, like I said, is reflected in America, US, you know, the EU, NATO, essentially the whole Western Hemisphere, right? And so here in 2025, all right, we are in the 249th year of America's rule, of America's existence, okay? With July the 4th, 2026, marking the 250th year, right? So you're seeing parallels already. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes. All right. And you brothers already know where I'm going. So this is Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9. And it reads, "The thing which hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything whereof it may be said, See, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us." You see? So the same thing that's happening now, it's the same thing that happened back then. Okay? And it's very interesting when you think about America, all right? You think about this place, and it's essentially taken on the form of all these previous empires, okay, outside of their Edomite rule. Okay, they take bits and pieces from the Babylonian Empire. They take bits and pieces from the Egyptian Empire. They take bits and pieces from the Assyrians. Okay, the scriptures note this place spiritually as also being Nineveh. Okay, so let's go to the book of Matthew. All right, Matthew chapter 12, verse 25. Remember what brought down the rule of the Antiochi, okay, of the Seleucid Empire as a whole. It was the infighting. You know what I'm saying? It was the infighting. It was the rivalry. It was the backstabbing. Okay? It was the civil deterioration. There was civil war. All right? Matthew chapter 12, verse 25. "And Yahushua knew their thoughts, and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. how shall then his kingdom stand? Right? Let me get that in the NLT. Let me see if I can get that real quick. Bear with me. Come on, man. Come on. Bear with me, man. Bear with me. Sheesh. I'll be on Bible Hub and this thing be acting stupid sometimes, man. Stupid. All right, this is the NLT. It reads, Yahushua knew their thoughts and replied, any kingdom divided by civil war is doomed. A town or a family splintered by feuding, will fall apart. You see? And it's only through the grace of the Lord that the throne of David was not completely demolished, man, because there was a lot of feuding amongst the family. You know what I'm saying? Amongst King David's family with his sons. Right? That was pretty messy. You see what I'm saying? But with what he's done to the Edomite rulership, okay, he brought Rome down in a, spectacular fashion. And the same thing's gonna happen here, but even greater. All right? Much greater. So, pretty much when you think about that, like I'm talking about the ripples in time, you know what I'm saying? The European Union and NATO are against America. The European Union and NATO are starting to turn against America, man. Okay? The same way the infighting was happening within the Seleucid dynasty and amongst the Diadochi. Okay, the four generals who succeeded Alexander the Great. Okay, so it's a recipe for disaster that we're seeing. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just with the European Union and NATO against America, but it's also the citizens, okay, that are turning against the government. All right? The citizens is turning against the government and amongst each other. All right? Infighting on every level. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, you got the talks of treason, you know what I'm saying, that's becoming more commonplace. All right? As the proof of your boy Nero Trump actively disregarding the Constitution becomes more apparent in these days, man, because he ain't giving a damn about what his constituents is talking about. He's not giving a damn what the Congress is saying, what the court judges are saying. Okay, he's just doing his own thing, man. Clearly. And this is causing more and more of a divide. You know what I'm saying? I mean, things are going to get out of control very soon. And, we're going to start seeing the crimson liquids, you know what I'm saying, flowing down the streets. They're going to be flowing, man. And it's going to get real messy, real messy. All right? Real mossy, as they say. All right, let's go to Ezekiel chapter 7. All right? Let's see. Let's hit verse 5. Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 5. It says, thus saith the Yahweh power, and evil, and only evil, behold, is come. An end is come. The end is come. It watcheth for thee. Behold, it is come. The morning is come unto thee, O thou that dwellest in the land. The time is come. The day of trouble is near, and not the sounding again of the mountains. All right, let me see if I can get that in the NLT, if the Bible Hub will cooperate with me. So let's see. and it's not cooperating. Please bear with me, Akim. This is annoying, I know. Let's see. Let's go to the NLT. NLT. Please work. All right. NLT. Let's see. Let's get back to verse 5. Ezekiel 7 and 5 in NLT. It says, "This is what the sovereign Lord says. Disaster after disaster is coming your way. The end is come. It has finally arrived. Your final doom is waiting. O people of Israel, the day of your destruction is dawning. The time has come. The day of trouble is near. Shouts of anguish will be heard on the mountains, not shouts of joy, and not shouts of joy." You know what I'm saying? This is what inevitably happens when an empire falls. You know what I'm saying? And why is it singling out, you Israelites, man? Why is it singling you out? Because this is the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay, this is the time of Jacob's trouble, man. As is written in Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. The time of Jacob's trouble is coming. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, it's here. Excuse me. It's here now. You know? It's here now. And it's only going to increase and increase. 2026 is finna be something crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's finna be something crazy. All right? But yeah, I asked ChatGPT while I was doing some research, you know what I'm saying, into this dynasty. All right, I asked the question, why do historians speculate that empires tend to live no longer than 250 years? All right, and this is what it said, so bear with me. All right, it says, why 250 years? Historians and sociologists propose several contributing factors: administrative overstretch, economic stagnation or uneven wealth distribution, elite competition and political fragmentation, elite competition and political fragmentation. That's a good one. It says external pressures or technological shifts. We're seeing that. Cultural aging, loss of unifying mission. Okay. Others argue it's not a rule, just a pattern caused by similar structural constraints across societies. Okay. And so I asked ChatGPT to expound on each of these points. Okay. So first one, administrative overstretch. As empires expand, they must govern more territory, more peoples, more languages, and logistical networks. Early in an empire's life, expansion is often profitable. New lands bring wealth, tribute, resources, and prestige. But eventually, the cost of administering farther and more diverse regions outpaces the benefits. Communication and transport slows decision-making. Corruption increases as central oversight weakens. Local governors gain autonomy, sometimes becoming mini powers of their own. This creates an ever-increasing bureaucratic burden. The center spends more time trying to maintain what it already has, often draining resources from innovation or development. Okay? And we're seeing that. So it says, this creates an ever-increasing bureaucratic burden. All right, it says at the bottom, blah, blah, blah. Historically, this can be seen in Rome's frontier provinces. Okay, the overexertion or the overextension of the Spanish Empire and the logistical drain on the British Empire. Okay, and remember, what are those 7 heads? All right, those 7 heads. Let's look at this in the book of Revelation. All right. Let's go to Revelation chapter 13. All right. Let's see. All right, Revelation chapter 13, verse 15, it says, "And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed." Okay, Revelation chapter 17. And Revelation chapter 17, verse... All right, verse 9. All right, verse 9. Check this out. It says, and here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains. All right, mountains meaning governments. 7 heads of mountains, 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. Okay. And those 7 heads consist of Greece, Rome, all right, Germania Major, Germania Minor, French, the Spanish, and Great Britain. Okay, those are the 7 heads. All right, and it's just named us a couple of them. Okay, it says historically this can be seen in Rome's frontier provinces, the overextension of the Spanish Empire, and the logistical drain of the British Empire. Okay, that's just 3 out of the 7 heads. Okay, so continuing. Number 2, economic stagnation or uneven wealth distribution. Many empires begin with dynamic economic growth. Conquest yields wealth, trade networks expand, and innovation flourishes as time passes. All right, pretty much the same thing as the first point said. It says a wealthy elite consolidates most of the empire's resources. Okay, we're seeing this in what they call the 1%ers. It says the middle classes weaken and they stagnate. That's what's happening now. Everybody's on TikTok now who used to live in nice, houses worth $200,000. You know what I'm saying? $200,000 homes, and now they're forced to live in a rundown apartment. You know what I'm saying? Hell, we just saw a video. All right, just saw a video from I think it was Arrows of Indignation that just shared this video, and it's this supposed Edomite woman who's cheating on her mans because she's saying that he's not doing enough to keep up, okay, financially, when the other guy, the guy's he's talking about, well, I work 12 hours, you know what I'm saying? I work 12 hours and you don't do anything. You quit your job. All right. So yeah, she was complaining about the fact that they used to live in a much better situation, and now they live in that rundown apartment. You know what I'm saying? And she's tired of being with a broke man. All right. I found that very funny. You know what I'm saying? Considering these curses is coming upon our enemies. All right. But that's proving the point. It says the middle classes weaken or stagnate. Okay. Taxation systems become outdated or regressive. Inflation or debt burdens accumulate. All right. You look at that credit card debt. You look at the student loan debt, man. I mean, it's just outrageous. It's outrageous. You know what I'm saying? Economic incentives shift toward wealth preservation rather than risk taking. Okay? This creates a structural rigidity. The empire becomes rich but inflexible. Okay? That's very peculiar. It says the empire becomes rich but inflexible. You see what I'm saying? None of that wealth is going to those that it should be going to. Okay, it's simply staying in this one spot. It's not flexing and all that stuff, man. You know what these politicians were saying throughout the years? They kept saying that rising tides lift all boats and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? They said trickle down economics, trickle down. So we're gonna give the rich more and more money, and it's gonna trickle down to y'all, and that never happened. You see what I'm saying? The only thing that happens is the rich take all that money. They don't distribute that out. You see what I'm saying? So it says when shocks occur, crop failures, all right? Crop failures, invasions, trade disruptions. We're seeing all this stuff, man. We're seeing all this stuff. These farmers are in town hall meetings, you know what I'm saying, crying for Trump and then coming together praying and whatnot, you know what I'm saying, to Caesar de Borgia. You know, it's some funny shit, man. Okay, then you got invasions. All right, all these jokers coming into the country and whatnot, right? Okay, and we're not talking about Jake from the northern tribes. We talking about Moabites, Elamites. You see what I'm saying? We talking about Ishmaelites, man. Everybody coming up in here, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy. Then you got trade disruptions, all right? Tariffs. All right. This joker's trying to talk about giving you $2,000 of your own money that you paid for these tariffs. Insane. It says the economy cannot adapt. All right. Slovakia can't see that one part, but such and so forth. Note that widening inequality often precedes political instability and collapse. Okay. Number 3, elite competition and political fragmentation. Over time, the ruling class of an empire usually grows in size and internal competitiveness. What they call it, the consumer economy, the consumerism. Okay, consumerism. What's the word? Shit. Capitalism. All right, capitalism. So internal competitiveness. Instead of uniting around external expansion or national development, elites begin to struggle against each other over influence. Fractions form around military, religious, or aristocratic groups. Secession becomes contested. All right, succession becomes contested. Internal groups, civil wars, or court intrigues proliferate. Resources are diverted to internal power struggles instead of public needs. Okay? Instead of public needs, we got all these billions of dollars for Jeff Bezos and them. Okay, but nothing for you. Nothing for you. Okay? It says this often marks the transition from an empire's quote-unquote golden age to its crisis age. Rome's crisis of the 3rd century, Ottomans' palace coups, okay? You remember the Ottoman Empire, and Mughals' nobility infighting are classic examples. Okay? Remember, the same thing that happened then is the same thing that's happening now. Number 4, external pressures or technological shifts. No empire exists in a vacuum. The world around it evolves. Okay? New enemies adopt better military tactics or technologies. Neighboring states modernize or form coalitions. Trade routes shift. For example, Europeans bypassing the Ottoman-controlled routes. Climatic or ecological changes strain resources. Often an empire's institutions built for an earlier era are too slow or conservative to adapt. By the time reform comes, it's usually partial or too late. Examples include the Jing dynasty failing to keep pace with industrializing Western powers, or the Ottoman Empire struggling with European military innovation. Okay? So the same thing is happening today. All right? The big talk of the town is what? AI. Number 5, cultural aging, loss of unifying mission. The early phase of an empire often has a strong ideological or cultural drive, a religious mission, revolutionary energy, a charismatic founding leader, or a sense of destiny. All of that was found within America. Okay? It says, but a few generations later, the original unifying vision fades. Citizens become less willing to sacrifice for the state. Just look at the military, right? Look at the military. All these jokers went into the military for what? For the sake to die for their country? You ask these jokers that, okay, ask Keisha that. Go ahead and ask Keisha that, who just joined the military. All right? Ask her that. Are you willing to die for the sake of this country, for the sake of the flag and what have you? Are you willing to do all that? Ask her. See what she says. All right? She didn't join for none of that. None of these new recruits and all that stuff, man, they ain't coming for some high some high purpose okay of country and state. God damn it. You know what I'm saying? It says cynicism or fatalism increases. Luxury and comfort replaces discipline and innovation. A classic argument from Ibn Khaldun. All right, I think that's how you say it. Next, the empire becomes inward looking, more than concerned with preserving privilege than achieving new goals. All right. And so I asked ChatGPT, how do these things, you know what I'm saying, reflect in America today? All right. All right. How are these key factors reflective in the United States today? It said below is a balanced, nonpartisan structural analysis connecting the classic empire lifespan factors to the present day United States. This is not a prediction it's not a prediction of decline or collapse, only a comparison of historical patterns to modern conditions. All right. And what they say in the world of finance and economy, okay, they always say that past events predict future trends. Okay, past events predict future trends. So ChatGPT could be covering its own ass, but the truth is, the truth of the matter is that nothing is new under the sun, as we just read. Right? Number 1, administrative overreach. Historical patterns. Empires become strained when global commitments exceed administrative, military, or political capacity. Reflections to the U.S. The U.S. maintains hundreds of overseas bases, multiple alliance networks, and global security responsibilities. The military is expanded to project power simultaneously in Europe, the Indo-Pacific, and the Middle East. Internal political disagreements sometimes lead to uncertain or inconsistent foreign policy, making long-term commitments harder to manage. A portion of federal spending goes to fulfilling legacy obligations, such as defense, healthcare, pensions, leaving less room for new initiatives. All right, just take a look at the defense budget. My goodness. Okay, in summary, the U.S. carries unmatched global responsibilities and advantage, but also a classic marker of imperial load. Next, economic stagnation or uneven wealth distribution. Historically, inequality and stagnation tends to erode social cohesion and political stability. Today, wealth inequality in America has risen for decades. Wealth inequality, hey man, was it the base level income? All right. Or the minimum wage, I should say. The minimum wage is the same as it was over a decade ago, man. You know what I'm saying? Was it $7.25? That's minimum wage. You can't live on anything with that kind of money. You see what I'm saying? It's crazy. So wealth inequality in America has risen for decades. The top percentiles hold an increasing share of assets. Real wages have grown slowly for many workers despite rising productivity. High housing, healthcare, and education, costs. High housing, healthcare, and education costs weigh on household stability. Technological change has created winner takes most dynamics in some industries. Public debt levels are historically high, complicating long-term fiscal planning. And here's the thing, man. you'll take like a very profitable company, you know what I'm saying? A company that just brings out a product, okay? And that product rakes in so much money. And instead of actually sharing that influx of revenue with their workers, you know what I'm saying, with those that work for them to make that product, they simply lay them off. They lay them off and they keep all of that to themselves. You see what I'm saying? Nothing about that is righteous. Right? Summary. The U.S. has a highly dynamic economy with global dominance in technology and finance, but structural inequality resembles late-stage conditions seen in past empires. Elite competition and political fragmentation. As empires mature, political elites fight more among themselves than against external threats. Reflections in the U.S. today. Partisan polarization is historically high. Historically high. Jokers have never been more polarized in America than it is now, man. I mean, my goodness. Before you could at least get these so-called Republicans and Democrats on the same at the table concerning something. You know what I'm saying? Regarding something. Goddamn, man. They can't agree with nothing. You know what I'm saying? At least that's how it seems on the surface anyway. But it says partisan polarization is historically high. Cross-party cooperation has significantly weakened. Institutional gridlock makes it difficult to pass major legislation or reform systems. Media ecosystems intensify division. All right, Fox News, CNN. You know what I'm saying? We used to call it ABC and then BBC, BS, Fox. You know what I'm saying? All right. You got all these media companies, man. All these media companies from ABC, the BBC, the CNN, all right, the MSN, all of the Fox, all right. All this stuff is polarizing more and more and more. You know what I'm saying? The Fox News is about Republicans, you know what I'm saying, pointing the finger at Democrats. CNN is about the Democrats pointing fingers at the Republicans, man. Okay? Creating divergent interpretations of reality. Ideological battles, and it's so bad because you could get somebody who's actually a Republican who's saying something that's correct, okay, that even aligns with the Democrats on CNN, and he's seen as a traitor from Fox News and from Republicans because he's saying something that actually makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't even be a polarizing thing. It should be an actual bipartisan thing. You know what I'm saying? But that's how deep the division actually is. Okay, if you're not Democrat, then you must be Republican. If you're not red, then you must be blue. You see? So it says ideological battles occur not only between parties but within them. Trust in institutions, including Congress, media, and government, has declined. The U.S. exhibits intense internal competition, a common late-stage dynamic, though still within a resilient constitutional system, which is breaking away every day now, right? Because these jokers don't give a damn about the Constitution. You know? 4, external pressures or technological shifts. Rivals exploit technological change or geopolitical openings to challenge aging powers. That has happened historically. Today, rising powers, especially China, compete in trade, technology, and military capability. Digital disruption, AI, cyber warfare, surveillance tech creates new vulnerabilities. The global shift in trade routes, supply chains, and energy sources requires adaptation. All right. Allies and partners pursue more independent strategic agendas than in the unipolar post-Civil War era. All right. In summary, the strategic environment has become multipolar and technologically volatile, requiring adaptation similar to what past powers had faced. 5. Cultural aging, loss of unifying mission. Empires lose cohesion when shared narratives weaken. Today, Americans disagree sharply about national identity, values, and the meaning of patriotism. All right? Because literally, we can see that a dystopia and a tyrant is you know what I'm saying, being formed in America. You know what I'm saying? And you have the very people who claim to be against that type of thing, they're here for it. All right, they're agreeing with it. And they say that if you don't agree with tyranny, now you're unpatriotic. You see? And all it took was the whole left-right divide in order to cause this cognitive dissonance. You see? Next point, generational divides are larger. Older versus younger Americans differ significantly on institutions, capitalism, security, and social slack. I didn't get that last part. But nigga, I just saw a video with this old ass Edomite who snatched this young Edomite's phone out of his hand. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and these young Edomites, man, you know what I'm saying, which I perceive to be Edomites, they're behaving just like Jake now. Just like Jake. They talking like Jake. They cussing like Jake. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, and those little niggas could be Jake, man. Hey, you never know. But damn, you know what I'm saying? These that old Edomite wanted to put hands on them niggas, man. That was funny. That shit was funny. It says, oh, generational divides are larger. Older versus younger Americans differ significantly on institutions, capitalism, security, and social norms. All right, that was the end of that point. Next point, civic engagement is mixed. Some forms are rising, such as activism, but others are failing, such as local community participation and trust. You know what I'm saying? Many people feel disillusioned with the direction of the country or pessimistic about the future. Okay? As a matter of fact, let me get a preset. Okay, I've gone long enough without getting a preset, man. Can't go too long without one. So let's see. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 12. All right, Ecclesiastes 12:3, it says, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened." Okay, so in other words, these people in this society today looking out the windows, you know what I'm saying? They have no hope. They have no stern belief in the future, man. You know what I'm saying? Again, many people feel disillusioned with the direction of the country or pessimistic about the future. In summary, the U.S. remains culturally rich and influential, but the degree of internal disagreement over identity is historically unusual. Okay? Putting it together, if you compare the U.S. to the 250-year cycle factors, some indicators align, such as polarization, inequality, global overreach. Some indicators diverge. The U.S. is technologically leading, demographically healthier than many peers, and economically massive. Okay, and even though that may seem as a positive, it's going to ultimately, you know what I'm saying, it's going to ultimately assist in the downfall of America, man. You know, because even though they say that we're technically or technologically leading, okay, what's going on with the youth in America? The youth in America is dumb as hell, man. Dumb as hell. You got these teachers that's complaining, saying that these students who are well into their teenage years, they can't even write a single paragraph. They can't even write 5 sentences, man. Okay? Demographically healthier than many peers, all right, essentially is saying that this place is a melting pot. You know what I'm saying? It's full of every different culture. You know what I'm saying? You got everybody coming from the east and whatnot. Racially, it's all over the place. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it means when it says demographically healthier than many peers. All right, and having women in position of authority is not healthy. All right, say whatever you want to say, man. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. The scriptures tell you, all right, that shouldn't be the case. All right, because it will inevitably lead to a downfall of the kingdom, man. You know what I'm saying? What happened with Rome? Right before Rome fell, they allowed women to be in positions of power. So like I said, the same thing happens today. Nothing is new under the sun. That's going to be a factor in the downfall of this place. Right? Let's see. The U.S. system is highly adaptive with strong institutions innovation capacity, and the ability to self-correct, advantages past empires did not always enjoy. And there's the part where ChatGPT is trying to give you hope. You know what I'm saying? But there ain't no hope for this place. Let's get this in Isaiah. This is Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 1. It says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate." All right. So that's the point, man. The U.S. could be seen as going through a mid to late cycle stress period, but that does not imply inevitable decline. Oh, okay. All right. You say that. All right. Prophecy's got something else to tell you. Many nations have renewed themselves after similar phases. All right. Let's prove that is a lie. All right. Let's go to Jeremiah. This is Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 6. It reads, "Flee out of the midst of Babylon." Real quick, bear with me. All right, we're going to close it out here. This is Jeremiah 51 and 6. "Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense." And who is her that is talking about? It's talking about Babylon the Great, aka America, the same Babylon the Great that's written of in Revelation, the 17th chapter. The mystery whore of Babylon, you see, with that golden cup. So it says, let me read it again. It says, "Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense." Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh's hands, all right, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. All right. What did he say? He said, ChatGPT said that other countries have recovered from similar things. That's not what the scriptures say about this place. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. Okay, and it's going to be a lot of destruction coming the way of America, man. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? I pray this lesson has been edifying to the elect. I'm actually surprised it went on this long. But again, Lord willing, you were edified through the Spirit. This has been your brother Zakaria Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. In closing, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruchak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, of whom I've grown in this truth under. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom.